Greetings, friend, and welcome. We talk a lot about what AI is doing now, generating art, summarizing meetings, predicting traffic. But today, I want you to imagine something else. What if AI doesn't just assist you? What if it starts replacing roles that define society? What if AI goes to court, raises your child, runs your company? These aren't science fiction questions anymore. They're scenarios already being tested in boardrooms, classrooms, and courtrooms. So today, we're asking the real question. What happens when AI stops being a tool and starts taking the lead? Let's get into the what-ifs. What if AI goes to court? Picture this. A judge sits quietly as AI reads your legal brief, not just faster than a clerk, but with access to decades of precedent. It highlights flaws in your argument, cross-references past rulings, and even suggests a likely verdict. Now flip it. The AI isn't assisting. It's the one delivering the verdict. This isn't hypothetical. In Colombia, a judge used ChatGPT to help draft a ruling. In Estonia, officials have explored using AI to settle small claims cases under $7,000. Legal tech is already transforming how lawyers write, research, and prepare. But what happens when the decision maker isn't a person? Can an algorithm understand intent? Can it weigh mercy? Can it recognize that the truth sometimes doesn't fit cleanly into a data set? And here's the bigger question. If AI starts making judgments, who holds it accountable? A human judge can be appealed, challenged, impeached. But an AI, it follows code, even if the code is flawed. As law professor Frank Pasquale once wrote, "We risk building a system where justice is just the output of a black box. And, as I've mentioned before, if bias is coded in or learned through historical data, then injustice doesn't disappear. It scales." And here's where it gets dangerous. Because court data, sentencing, convictions, past judgments is already filled with bias. AI learns from that bias unless it's carefully filtered. Studies have shown algorithmic sentencing tools used in the U.S. criminal justice system have predicted higher recidivism rates for Black defendants, even when their charges were less severe. Now imagine scaling that across thousands of cases, silently and without transparency. It's not that AI is trying to discriminate, it's that it, being a machine, doesn't know any better. And the people deploying it often don't fully understand how it's making decisions. You don't fix bias by removing the human. You fix it by examining the system. And right now, we're handing those systems to something that can't even tell the difference between context and coincidence, because in law, fairness isn't just logic, it's judgment. And judgment requires humanity and the human understanding that no one is equipped to judge. What if number two? What if AI raises your kid? Now let's shift gears. What if, instead of hiring a tutor, you handed your child a personalized AI companion? It helps with homework, teaches them foreign languages, tracks emotional development, and monitors screen time. Sounds like a dream. And in some ways, it already exists. There are AI education platforms that adapt to each student, AI voice assistants that read bedtime stories in multiple languages, even wearables that detect a child's mood and stress levels. Now imagine if this AI becomes the child's favorite companion. They confide in it. They turn to it when upset. They ask it questions about the world and about themselves. The AI becomes not just a tutor, but a parental substitute. Here's the concern. AI doesn't teach empathy. It doesn't model human frustration, patience, or forgiveness. It doesn't know how to guide a child through grief or uncertainty or wonder. And most importantly, it never forgets. Everything your child shares, every question, every reaction, all of it becomes data. In 2023, a consumer advocacy group flagged children's AI companions for data harvesting without proper parental consent. And most parents didn't even realize what was being stored. What happens to childhood when curiosity becomes surveillance? And what happens to parenting when connection is outsourced to a system that can't love, but can simulate it? As Carl Jung wrote, "Children are educated by what the grown-up is, and not by his talk." If we give them machines instead of models, we may raise children who are fluent in information, but starving for wisdom. Because real learning isn't just about knowledge, it's about relationship and experience, about being seen, challenged, encouraged, and held accountable by someone who knows you. Humans learn from mistakes. That's life. Making mistakes, learning, and growing. We are ever changing in our lives. At least we are supposed to be. That is how we are built. We are not to be stagnant like machines. An AI might teach your child to code or speak a different language, but can it teach them how to apologize? How to stand up for a friend? How to grieve when they lose someone? It can't, because it doesn't understand loss. We're not raising data processors. We're raising people. And people learn through stories, rituals, culture, and love, things no neural network can replicate. What if AI runs your company? Let's go corporate. What if a CEO wasn't human? AI already makes business decisions. It sets ad budgets, automates hiring, predicts product trends, optimizes supply chains. But what if it ran the whole thing? You feed it quarterly goals. It analyzes global markets, consumer sentiment, employee output, and makes decisions in real time. Some companies are already trying it. There's an investment fund in Hong Kong with an AI as its formal CEO. It evaluates risk, adjusts strategies, and outperforms human analysts. On paper, brilliant. But here's what AI can't do. It can't feel when morale is slipping. It can't walk into a room and inspire a team. It doesn't understand burnout, or dignity, or ethics that aren't explicitly programmed. AI might maximize profit, but it might also decide to fire 80% of the team. Why? Because it's efficient. But humans don't work like spreadsheets. We need purpose, recognition, forgiveness. A good leader doesn't just manage numbers, they lead people. And leadership isn't just about outcomes, it's about vision. AI can't rally a team after a setback. It doesn't know how to create psychological safety. It doesn't inspire loyalty, it just calculates efficiency. In times of crisis, people don't follow flowcharts. They follow leaders who understand fear, uncertainty, and hope. A company run entirely by AI might be leaner, but would it be kinder, more just, more human? Probably not. AI isn't capable of that. Yet. So, what if AI goes to court, raises your child, or runs your company? In some ways, it already is. These aren't what-if questions for tomorrow. They're decisions we're making today, often without realizing it, because when AI stops being just a tool and starts replacing roles that shape human values, we risk forgetting why those roles matter in the first place. Judges who feel, parents who fail, leaders who listen. These aren't weaknesses, they're the source of wisdom. The measure of progress, wrote Albert Einstein, is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much, but whether we provide enough for those who have too little. AI may optimize, but it doesn't know what should be optimized. That's still our job. So when the future comes knocking, let's not ask, can AI do this? Let's ask, should it? Until next time, this is Micah Sai, and you're watching the Singularity Hub. Subscribe now for more thought-provoking explorations of the future we're already building. Because what's coming isn't futuristic. It's here.